the republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God.
Indivisible.
With liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we are back once again. It is Saturday night, and we are tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And joining me tonight is Mr. Mark.
That's me.
And Mr. Dean, James Dean.
No, just Dean.
Just Dean, okay.
Hydro
Just
seal.
Dean? Yeah.
What?
Huh?
I'll fight you.
So how you guys been? It's been a long time since we had both of you guys on the podcast at one time. We're
like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, whatever. Okay. At the same, you hear? Oh, whatever. It's been a long time since Tarver has missed the podcast.
Was it?
It was like 2 weeks ago.
He was not.
He wasn't here.
Whatever.
We were here. He wasn't.
Jeez, man, I'm way off.
That's 2 weeks ago.
So what have you guys been up to Second Amendment related? We'll start with Mr. Mark.
Not much. Selling guns and, be young, have fun, drink Pepsi. I don't know.
You're being young.
We're trying to be.
Isn't that hard on your hips?
Yeah, but in my mind, it's not, but.
Yeah. Well, you said you had to get out because there's too much young kid stuff going on at your house tonight.
Yeah, there's teenage girls at my house. So I'm like, nope, I'm gone.
I'm out.
Yep.
So nothing Second Amendment related?
Not now, just selling guns.
How's it going? You got any cool stories from the gun counter?
There's too much going on. There's a lot of the questions about 9mm ammo.
About the Rona.
And I'm like, I'd love to tell people something, but there's nothing.
So do you guys get any in?
We do, but it's so sporadic that it shows up, we put it out, and it's gone.
So I need some small handgun primers. Could you set those aside for me when they come in?
If we get some, yeah. If we get some, I'll let you know.
Let me know right away. Stick some behind the counter, slip them in your pocket. You can bring them to me.
That wouldn't be good.
I want to say real quick, and we'll get to you this in a minute, Dean. I want to thank you for the fine customer service that you provided me the other day. I was waiting in the chicken line.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't want to get out of the line because the line was like freaking 35
people
deep.
Yeah, it went clear down the aisle. Yeah.
And I was number 2 in line because I'd been there for freaking 2.5 hours.
Yep.
And I was like, I need a cart. Mostly I just need it because I needed something to freaking lean on, right? Because you guys need chairs in the chicken line.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous that I got to stand there for that long.
Is that the line where you buy baby chicks?
Baby chicks.
Yeah.
It's that time of year.
I got 36 of them in my garage.
Oh, it's so fun to go down to D&B at chick time.
So anyhow, I was like, I need a cart, and I don't want to lose my place in line. So I was like, I know an employee. Can I tell the story?
Go for it.
I whipped out my phone and I went, Mark's working today. Mark, bring me a cart.
He's like, I don't want to lose my spot. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm just around the corner. So
he brought me a cart, and it was awesome. And the people in the front of the line were like, after you left the lady, he's like, that was really good service. And I straight it's good service.
I came around the backside and smuggled it around.
Yeah.
Because he's, I didn't want everybody seeing I'm bringing him a cart. So I was just like, there you go.
And as you're leaving, I was like, thanks, Mark. And then I looked at the lady in front of me, and it pays to know people. That's what I told her. So anyhow, thank you for that. I will send you some kind of common whatever. I'll send you some kind of
You let me shoot at your range. That's
there you go. I let you shoot at my range. And what about you, Mr. Dean? What have you been up to?
A little this, a little that.
Have you been reloading? You shot a bunch of ammo the other day.
Yeah. In fact, I've had my kids out shooting too. It's been great.
That's what you said. Hey, how's your boy doing?
Oh, he's doing okay. Luckily, it wasn't his trigger finger.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it his left or right hand?
It was his right hand, and he's left-handed.
So
for you at home who don't know,
doesn't know,
my son, the Boy Scout, with his tote and chip card, was opening a package of tin snips with his pocket knife, and he got the knife underneath one of the tie straps underneath there, and he slipped, and he jammed the blade of the knife into his first well, the knuckle right here.
So that was his trigger finger.
Yeah, but on his non-dominant hand.
Oh, got you.
Non-dominant hand. So he came into, and one of my colleagues put glue on it, glued him back up, but it became apparent in the next few days that he couldn't move the distal portion of that finger. So the distal knuckle it couldn't wiggle. He couldn't do this. Plus, it was completely numb. So we took him to a friend who's an orthopedic surgeon. He said, "Oh yeah, you need surgery. Let me call someone." So he calls up the hand surgeon in town, gets him an appointment for the next day. Hand surgeon sees him, says, "Okay, we're going to the OR tomorrow."
So now he's got a bright future as a hand model.
Yeah, him and David Duchovny.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that he's doing.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Well.
They went in. They thought maybe because when that happens, the tendon slips back up your arm, down your hand, and up your arm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. So the doc was thinking that he would have to open him up from the tip of the finger all the way down to his wrist.
Oh wow.
To try and dig out that tendon.
Yeah.
Well, luckily he only had to cut him down to about the level of where his thumb is on his palm, and it was right there. He was able to bring it back up and attach it completely. He was worried that they would have to bring it up, attach it with an appliance.
Me hurt.
Right. Attach it with an appliance and then come back in like 3 weeks and do it
like
all
a
again.
refrigerator or an oven.
Microwave.
What?
Toaster oven. Okay.
What kind of appliance?
Now that they got the appliance done,
The listeners want to know.
They didn't need an appliance because it was elastic enough.
A little bit of Gorilla Glue.
I know a good hand therapist.
Happy ending?
No, like
Dude,
like
how old's your son?
it's like physical therapy for your hand. Okay.
Yeah, he said so. He had the surgery Thursday, and he's set up to start a hand therapy on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, and we got him some Norco.
Oh my! You aren't touching any.
I know he's only had 2.
Why didn't you?
And when he took them, he wasn't even loopy.
How would that affected you? We could have had one stellar show tonight.
Yeah, I was singing.
I would have picked you up and driven you back home.
Oh, bear stuff, bear stuff, bear stuff, bear stuff, bear stuff.
So,
but I had the kids out shooting. They have their little 22s, and yeah, they did pretty good doing that. But then they, at the same time, I took them out to shoot 22s that day. I also brought my 22-250 because I wanted to have some fun too.
the big boy 22,
right? And it's got a great big old bull barrel. It's 24-inch bull barrel on a Remington 700 action that my pop put together. And
I think I've shot that one.
You may have.
I think I have.
I can't remember if it was that one or the 7x57 that we shot those rock chucks with at one time.
We shot a lot of guns.
My son still remembers going down to your pop's place and blowing up rock chucks.
Yeah, that was a lot of. That's always a lot of fun.
The kid, my daughter, who is she must be 11. She loved the 22-250, and she's maybe 50 pounds soaking wet.
Right.
She is skinny as a rail. Has no ass. She's so skinny.
And she loved that gun.
And she loves the 22-250. So the next weekend I had to take him out again. They begged for it. And so she shot the 22-250.
Dean's over there like, you're shooting up all my reloading stock.
I know, right? And my boy shot my 7x57 Mauser that my pop put together as a rock chuck gun. So it's same thing, big old bull barrel.
Did you set him down and talk to him about ammunition shortages?
No, because
they need to have. That's a hard talk to have with your kids.
That's a father-kid
But you need to have that talk.
Yeah, well,
my kid shot up all my freaking 380 ammo over the weekend. Pissed me off.
How dare you?
Wow.
No, it's already done now.
It's a little late. It's a little late now. I missed that one. Hang on, I missed it.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one. Crazy pills! That's wrong.
Oh, well. Anyway.
Where is that? Is it?
How dare you?
There
it is.
That's
There's
it.
Greta. That's my girl.
Oh, it's been a little while since I've used all these buttons in here. It's kind of an overload thing going on.
Yeah.
So
anyway, yeah, I got the kids set up. They were doing, when they originally shot the 22-250, they were going off at around, 25 yards. And so then when I took them out the second time, I made them set up at 100 and further. And they had a little harder time making the cans explode. And
right.
Shooting the jugs of water and shooting eggs. And
they had a great time.
They really enjoyed it, yeah.
Well, I had, over Memorial Day, I had my daughter and her husband come out on Sunday, and they actually had to do the shooting portion of their enhanced permit. They took the classroom portion, but they're family, so I say, I'll just break this up into 2 days if you guys want, right? So I got everyone out there, and we did the shooting portion, and we shot my steel.
Oh yeah,
Shot my steel. I got a bunch of steel targets. I got the pop-up deals. I got the dueling tree, and we just had an absolute blast out there.
Who wins in the dealing tree?
You've never shot a dueling tree?
I have seen it. I've never done one, but
like who won?
Who won? When you guys did it,
I won some, and then some of the others won some. And what it is it's. So, nines will flip them, 380s will flip them, but on the dueling trees, you kind of got to hit it almost dead. You got to hit it pretty center for it to go.
If you don't, it just kind of flips back.
It'll flip part way. It'll either go really slow or it'll flip part way and then fall back down again.
Is that why it's leaning forward?
Say hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Yeah, so it leans forward, so it splatters. The bullet splatters down.
Oh, okay. So it's not coming back at you.
So it's not coming back at you. But that's been a lot of fun. I've let a lot of new, like new students and stuff like that at the end of their private classes shoot at those. And man, everyone leaves with just gigantic smiles. They absolutely love shooting the steel.
How about, did anyone shoot it with a 45?
No, not yet.
I'm just curious at how it reacted.
It should handle it.
If it blew, of course it'll handle it. But did it blow it around even faster than your little?
It may. So
your little pipsqueaks.
The funnest thing that I love to do with it is when my son was shooting, and I was shooting at the same time. I would wait for him to hit one, and it'd come back around, and it'd be like on his side, and it'd flip. It'd get halfway, and I'd be waiting. And as soon as I saw yellow, I'd squeeze the trigger. It wouldn't even get all the way to my side again, and I send it right. Talk about demeaning. I mean, I just do that like every time we do it, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
We had a great time with the steel targets. What else did I do? For about 2 years ago, me and my mom, we went in for my dad's birthday. We bought him an AR-15. And he went and bought a scope, and he's not a huge gun guy, right? We got a scope and put on it, and finally, after 2 years, I got it from him, and I went ahead and, hey, Kelly joined us. I went ahead and went out and actually bore-sighted that stupid scope in.
After 2 years.
After 2 years, and I'm probably going to go out either this weekend or sometime during the week, and we'll go out to 100. I got it in at like 75 feet, so I got it in about 25 yards. And it was actually, I would tell you what, I really didn't have to do much. I was at 75 feet, so it was a little over 25 yards, I guess. But I was at 75 feet, and I put 5 shots all in the same hole. I stacked 5 shots in the center of the bullseye. Wow. And I didn't have a vise. I had a table. I didn't have a vise or anything. I just balanced it there on the mag and just held, and it, man, we're talking... It was awesome. It's got a Diamondback scope on it. I don't know. Was it a Viper?
Well, the Diamondback is a Vortex.
Well, excuse me, not Diamond, Vortex, but I don't know if it's a Diamond. I don't know which one it was, but I'm happy with it. So I got a question, since you guys are more rifle guys than me. So I got the scope set on there. I got it locked down. And I shot 5 rounds. I shot quite a few rounds, actually, probably 10 or 15. And the last 5, I shot. Everything held really good. So my question to you is, do I have to use some of that like medium, like Loctite to lock that thing down? Or if it hasn't moved, it's not going to move?
Believe it or not, most of your manufacturers recommend not to use Loctite.
Okay, so I didn't want to screw it up, right? Mm-hmm. So just wanted to make sure. But no, I'm happy with it. That's, for me, rifle shooting, that's pretty damn good, to be honest with you, because I don't freaking shoot rifles at all.
What kind of rounds were you shooting? I don't
know.
Do you know how heavy they were?
I have no idea. What, like 55 grain or something? I mean, they're just something we bought. My dad bought a bunch from like Freedom Munitions, so they're just rounds. It's a rifle. Who cares?
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
But so we did that, and
gun lives matter.
gun lives matter.
Especially black rifles matter.
Yeah.
So do black labs.
Well, and I mentioned it on the last podcast, but I want to buy or build a 9mm carbine. My buddy, did you listen to the last podcast? Don't lie to me.
I did, yeah, actually.
Did you hear the carbine that I shot?
Yeah, it was like some $1,600.
JP, oh my gosh, that thing was so. I'm gonna repeat it again. That thing was so much fun, absolutely so much fun. We flipped all the plates over on the dueling tree. You sat there and you're like ding 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 ding, and you just bam 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 bam. That thing was so much fun. Take Glock mags. That thing
was it a?
It was like it was a 9mm carbine, so it was like an AR, like 9mm AR.
Was it an AR platform?
Yeah,
That shot 9mm.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
freaking awesome. But I could see how I would burn through my stash of ammo very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But it is so much fun.
Well, I've got that Kel-Tec, that Sub 2000,
Yeah,
and I use the Glock mags in it.
yeah.
I really don't have a purpose for that gun, but it's fun to shoot.
Oh my gosh,
I love shooting it.
so
a
much
9?
fun.
It's a 9mm.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. So that would be, I mean, granted, you got 22s and stuff, but that would be a fun one for even a kid to pick up and shoot, right?
Yeah.
You get him used to maybe shooting an AR. It's because it's same controls, same everything. You let him shoot that 9mm carbine. That'd be awesome. I wish you would have been here to see. You would have loved it. It was fun.
Yeah.
My father-in-law had a
Could do it in 45.
high point, that carbine
Yeah.
in 45, and yeah, that was a lot of fun too.
I want one in 10 mil.
It did not kick at all because
If I was
so
to get
heavy.
a high point carbine, it would be 10 mil for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
that'd be lots of
That's
fun.
a big if, mind you. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So something else we did, we tested out those rounds a while back that we tested out in the ballistic gel.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's right. That's when we were all together. I forgot all about that. Okay, Kelly, we see your question. We will actually. This is a good question for Dean, and we will get to that. We will get to that.
That's good.
We'll get to that
question,
in just a minute. But we shot the seismic ammo, the 185 grain 9mm. Okay, and that clocked at like 800 something FPS or feet per second. Is that right?
That was it was 8 to 900.
8 to 900.
Like upper 800s.
I got my hands on a bunch of phone books from a listener, from my buddy Jason, and I soaked them all up. And that thing, I need to put that video up on Facebook, but that round made it anywhere from 6 to 8 inches, and it mushroomed out real nice. You don't think you saw the video? You saw the video.
Not on the 9mm.
Not on the 9mm, but it mushroomed out real nice, and for a 9, it did a pretty decent job, right?
Yeah,
It would have had a healthy wound channel.
very healthy. Very healthy.
So then,
Well, I mean, it's not really healthy if you.
Very healthy.
it was a healthy. It was a
Like
healthy.
calling a fart wholesome.
It was a healthy bleeder.
There you go.
But then you guys came out, and I told Dean to bring his 45, and we had the Liberty. Not that they're going to care or they can see, right? It's a bullet. We had the Liberty Civil Defense 78 grain in 45, and you're gonna get up there and show them. Oh yeah,
Look at that hole.
Look at that.
Look at that monster hole.
Quit showing them the hole.
Oh, it's the backside.
Did it start to get a little uncomfortable?
Starting to get a little weird.
But anyhow, we
Room's
shot.
starting to spin.
We shot that. That thing was cooking at about 1,800 feet per
1,800
second.
feet per second. Yeah.
We shot that into the phone books, and I'll post that video. Holy crap!
Yeah, emphasis on the hole.
I mean, holy crap! That thing, you could have stuck your thumb through that hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark's
Here.
finger.
I did.
Mark's
Show 'em
finger
this.
fit into the hole.
This is all that we found. It's like half the size of a dime or something. I mean, it's little.
Watch battery.
It's like a watch battery, and it blew through there, and it splattered wet. Even the entrance. We'll post the video up, but the entrance hole. It splattered freaking wet phone book all over the place.
The entrance hole looked like
The exit
an
hole.
exit hole.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
It was insane.
And it probably went the same. What, 6 inches, 6 to 8, 6?
Went through
wait.
2.5 phone books.
So yeah, whatever, 4 to 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
So not quite as deep.
But it was
But the channel that it made.
It
But these are phone books we're talking here. I mean,
Yeah.
These are phone books, but I mean, so this thing's not super heavy.
No,
obviously.
it's light.
And in fact, this is the watch battery is all that's left. We couldn't even find the other pieces.
We couldn't find any slivers.
So it went through and just tore this thing up. So I understand why it didn't get so deep, because it's got no weight and it's pretty much non-existent, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing, though.
It made some really like severe damage to
We
them.
were all laughing like giddy after it was insane.
Well, I did stick my finger in the hole, and it was not like I wasn't forcing it in there. It went right in.
I got some pictures and some video, and I'll post them up later on tonight, but absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was a devastating wound. Yeah.
That was the Liberty
Civil Defense.
Civil Defense.
And I know where 3 boxes of that stuff are right now.
That is some pretty potent stuff.
And you passed right by it on your way home.
Oh.
You should go. Dude, it's awesome stuff.
Yeah.
It is pretty awesome.
It's pretty impressive, yeah.
So I think Tarver, he's gonna look and see. He might have an old piece of Kevlar that we can shoot at. And if he finds it, the same guy that donated this, James, my buddy James Fisher, he's a listener on here. He said that he's got some 9mm in Liberty Civil Defense. It's cooking at just over 2,000 feet per second. He said he'd let us shoot at the Kevlar and see what happened.
So it's the same thing, super lightweight.
It's 50
high speed.
50 grains.
50 grains. Okay, now you're approaching 223 there.
Yeah,
50 grains going 2,000 feet per second.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. So if we get that, what we'll do is you can bring your chronograph. We'll run one over the chronograph and get a number.
Yeah.
And then we'll shoot at some stuff. I might even just go ahead and buy a box.
Might try and get a hold of the college, because I think they've got like some old vests, like from Kevlar vests.
Yeah.
From their post academy.
Yeah. We might, you know people over there, right?
I did. I don't anymore. They've all changed. So.
Well, we'll see what we can come up with. We'll figure out something. But Kelly wants to see the video, so we will go ahead and I'll post that up later on tonight. Just absolutely amazing video.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So I'm pretty excited.
So the next thing to try is go out and find a cow carcass and get the sternum out of it and put that in front of your phone books and see how deep it goes.
Yeah, because that's what I want to do over the
Through a
weekend.
sternum. Go find a cow carcass or a pig carcass.
There's one down at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, I think we've been filling up the airwaves, and I know everyone has, but we have as well, with COVID-19, right? Because we started we started a second podcast, and I think we've been kind of combining them because there's not a whole lot of gun news. Well, there's a lot to talk about on that front, and I think Tarver will come in, and I think probably beginning of the week, me and him will do a special, prepper conspiracy podcast on just that stuff. But tonight, we're going to get to Kelly's question in just a minute. In fact, let's get to it right now. And then we're just going to get into just some reloading stuff. We're going to talk reloading. I started it up again, and we can hit Dean. We got the reloading master in here.
That's funny because you usually roll your eyes when we start talking about ballistics and reloading.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm kind of like getting back. The numbers and the math part of it, not so much. I mean, I'll get into it in a minute.
Anyway,
because we can get started, but. Kelly asked, he had a concealed carry question. He said, options for carrying on a motorcycle, carry on person or carry holster on bike itself. What's y'all's opinion? We'll go to Dean first and then I'll throw out my opinion.
So my personal, I do carry when I ride. The problem is if you go across state lines, then you have to make sure you know the laws in the state you're going to.
Just ride really fast.
That, or when you get to the border, take it out of where you're concealing it and then disarm it and put one saddlebag and your ammo in the other saddlebag. But what a lot of the motorcycle jackets, vests that you buy to wear,
you're cut.
Will have a
cut.
Yeah, oh my gosh!
You're wearing that Hell's Angel cut, aren't you?
Not 1%ers.
Now I can tag this Hell's Angel.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
So, yeah, you can. A lot of them come with a concealed carry pocket already in them, and it'll have an elastic strap on the inside that you can actually put your pistol in, and it holds it great. It holds it just fine. Both of the jackets that I always wear have one of those. Now, I have found that the heavier the gun, the more difficult it is to carry. So if you carry a Glock, even a small Glock, it gets pretty heavy if it's fully loaded in there in your jacket. So what I go against my own advice, and I carry a J-weight, an air-weight Smith & Wesson J-frame.
Yeah,
It's
little
itty,
tiny.
itty bitty, but it's better than nothing.
It's like a 27.
It's a 32 H&R.
27 sounded better.
Shoot, but I would recommend keeping it on you. Don't carry it on your bike in a holster because you're going to leave your bike at some point. Whether it's to go into the gas station and use the restroom, get something, or go to the restaurant to eat, or go into the hotel, and you always run the risk of, I forgot my pistol on my bike. But if you do choose to carry it just in your saddlebag, that's okay. But it's not easy to access when it's in your saddlebag if you need it. Plus, if you go somewhere away from your bike and you need your firearm, you're gonna have to run back to your bike to get it. But that's kind of my 2 cents. It's always good to carry, especially on the bike, because who knows what you're gonna run into. But
And I agree, carry everywhere that you legally can. But I think that I don't think you should actually carry on the motorcycle itself. I mean, you want to carry on your person, right? Mm-hmm. Like you don't want to forget it. You don't want to forget it there. You want to carry it on your person. It's not like you're driving a car that's all enclosed, right? If you leave your gun in the car, you leave your gun in the car. It's still not a good idea, but at least you got doors and possibly lock it. You can't really lock it up on the bike, right?
Yeah, unless you got saddlebags that lock, yeah.
And then what if you get in an accident? I think you got more, not that you're going to get in an accident, but I think you got a better chance of the gun staying in a proper holster, staying on you in an accident than if you have it on your bike and then it skitters across the track. You know what I'm saying? And then, you lose your firearm. Okay. So that's stressful. And then what if you're out of it? What if you weren't able to say, hey, look, I had a firearm on my bike and it's just left out there. And then someone picks it up, a kid, someone evildoer gets it and does bad things with it. You don't want to have to be responsible for it. So I would definitely carry it on yourself. And like Dean said, he gave some options of how you can carry it. And I think you just need to research kind of what works for you.
So whether you're skinny or fat, it's really difficult to carry appendix on a motorcycle.
Because you're leaning over?
You're leaning over, yeah.
Is that what it is?
And because you're sitting down the whole time, and
that pocket thing gets it up though to where it's not going to be in a bind.
So in your vest works great for me. And if you try to carry in your waistband, even in your hip, it can get in the way.
I'm going to mount one right on my freaking helmet.
Like a turret?
So I can pull it off and I can temple index that sucker. Temple index that sucker. What do we got here? So carry on your person appendix outside the waistband.
Yeah, you can try an outside the waistband, but then I don't know. That's totally fine. If you're carrying it on your hip, you see some guys going down the road, and sometimes you'll see a outside the waistband, you'll see a barrel poking out from underneath.
What about a retention holster? That would be a good spot for a retention holster. Wouldn't you think?
If you're doing outside the waist, I would definitely have a retention.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you should anyway, but especially riding a motorcycle.
On a motorcycle, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't ride a motorcycle. I ride a four-wheeler.
Okay.
I carry one on me inside the waist.
Right.
Which is comfortable for me. And then I also have one in my front pouch, like right on the very top pocket. I unzip it, pull the gun out. It's like set up.
Right.
It just comes right out of the holster. But I'm up in the mountains. I don't have to worry about, locking up anything because there's usually nobody around.
When I am up riding my motorcycle, my four-wheeler, my whatever, I don't carry a firearm. I carry ninja stars and nunchucks.
What about a bow staff?
And you eat a whole bunch of beans before you go too.
If I'm in the woods, that's all I have are bow staffs at my disposal.
That's true.
At my disposal.
Yeah, and
I would say chest holster.
Chest holster.
Yeah, chest holster would be good.
Chest holster would be good. I mean,
or one of those under the armpit.
Well, they make. I mean, they're kind
holsters.
of expensive, but like Diamond D Leather makes some really nice ones that.
Kenai makes some too.
Yeah, so
they're Kydex.
They put the gun like right there, and if you're on a motorcycle, horse, four-wheeler, whatever, it's right there.
So something like that could be really handy. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's got this kind of bike, but if you did like adventure, like those adventure bikes, you know what I'm saying? And you're
dual sport type things,
whatever. I don't know bicycle talk. Motorbike talk. But yeah, no, so a chest holster or something like that would be great, really. I mean, you could they actually have like a pouch that you could strap on.
Right.
You know, I think it'd be hot if you wore it for quite a bit. I don't do motorcycles, so I don't know. I like 4 wheels and I can barely drive those.
Yeah.
I will have to tell you though, the way that I carry, I have noticed though, it's kind of scary to have your gun in an inside pocket. In order to get to it, if I need it, I have to unbutton, unzip, and then open, then unbutton again the pocket the thing's in. So it takes a while for me to get to my firearm.
Yeah.
What about a shoulder rig?
A shoulder rig would be quicker. That's for sure.
That would be quicker. You should be wearing some kind of jacket if you're riding a motorcycle anyway, right?
Or some kind of protection.
I saw some dude riding one without a helmet and his shirt the other day down the Clear Lakes out here.
You see it down here in town. You'll see the Harley guy wearing flip flops and shorts, or the or the super sport jackass riding down there with a t-shirt, not a t-shirt.
When I ride my motorcycle, I pull out my
Speedo
70s running shorts.
Say assless chaps.
Ooh, it cuts down on chafing.
Oh dear God.
Because I only ride mine up to...
keeps your damn seat lubed.
I only ride...
Okay.
Okay, we're done.
Okay.
We are done.
So the KLR 650, that's an adventure bike. Kawasaki,
Oh, there you go.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's one.
workhorse.
Yeah.
That's a really nice bike.
You should come to Idaho. I got some trails for you.
Right. So on a
Take
dual
that up to
sport
Boulder.
like that, it would be a little bit easier to carry outside the waistband on your hip. But if you're riding a cruiser, where you got more of a bucket seat,
Right.
cradling your backside. It's a little harder to carry outside the waistband down there.
So Kelly, I got a question for you. How do you like your clutch? Because I got a place that will take you where, I don't know, you'll probably lose it. You probably won't even make it to the top. You've been up to Boulder, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
You go up that section of Boulder where it's nothing but shale rocks that just roll and tumble. And I saw a guy take a motorcycle up. There was a dirt bike, and he burned up his clutch before he get to the top. And it was a brand new clutch when he left the house.
Wow.
What a jackass.
Yeah, he had to park it, limp it off the mountain.
And I was going to take my quads up there, but I don't know now.
No, your four-wheelers would be fine.
Oh, okay.
But he would just go to take off, and it just throw rocks, and he'd fall off. He tried for freaking 45 minutes. It's quite the show.
Oh, wow.
So he was riding his clutch the whole time then.
I don't know that you can. Yeah, he could never get going. It was. I don't know bikes, man, but it was insane watching him. He finally just threw it in the weeds and said, "I'll just hop in with someone else." And,
Wow.
okay, this is not the motorcycle show. Dean's like, I came on the right night.
Oh. right here. You see? Can you see? Wait. It's this side.
It's a good question, though. I mean, that was...
Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want a good show, go find the one where Dean is plastered out of his brain on whatever that is, and we talk.
Percocet Dean.
We talk a lot about the Indian motorcycles.
Did we then? Honestly,
You were gonna go give the
show.
dealership
Oh,
a piece of your mind.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I was pretty out of it.
But anyhow, let's possibly be in Boise City. Woo. Hey, holler.
October's not a bad time to go up there.
No, okay, off topic. Just holler at me, Kelly. I don't know that I'll be in Idaho City, but or Boise. You're not that far from me. You come down, be part of the podcast, dude. How is he in Boise? He's in Idaho City, right?
Oh, Boise.
No, Boise City, Idaho.
Boise City.
Oh, he's in Boise.
In Boise, yeah.
You're like an hour and 25 minutes away from me, dude, on the interstate. You should come by. We get him on the podcast. We can shoot on the range. That'd be fun. Anyhow, just throwing that out there.
True.
Okay, so we were going to change this up a little bit, and we were going to talk about reloading because
I'll take off. No.
Well, it's a pleasure having you on the show today.
We need to. Well, I mean, we just need to talk about something besides just COVID-19, right? And we need to talk a little bit about reloading.
Val might be still watching. He's good. He's into reloading.
Val disagrees with the way I powder coat my bullets.
I think everybody disagrees with you somehow.
I'm a hard person to get along with, but so why would a person start to reload? Well, this is like question and answer for Dean. Okay, why would a person want to reload? I mean, because at the right time, you can go out and I can buy before this freaking pandemic hit. I could go out and buy 9mm rounds for, I mean, I'm getting them for like 13 cents a round, right? It's not worth my time at that point to reload. I mean, really. I mean, money. If you look at the money part of it, I could buy cheaper than what I could reload.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for a pistol. For rifle, though.
For rifle, so
yeah, it's a lot different for rifle.
The floor is yours till I decide to interrupt you and criticize or
blah 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 blah.
Why would someone start to reload? Why did you get into reloading?
It was cultural for me because my pop did it. So and grew up in the gun room,
right,
playing with my cars on the floor while Pop was reloading and doing gunsmith and stuff and building rifles and stuff. So you just kind of learned from him. And when I was
that actually sounds a lot better, dude.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's enough.
And then when I
might have COVID-19.
So then when I left home, went to college, I had no money, and back then it actually made sense to reload for a pistol.
Sure.
It was cheaper to reload, to buy the components and then keep reloading on your own. And plus you can tailor the loads to exactly what you want. So say I've got a 44 mag and it's a son of a gun to shoot full house factory loads. It's painful. It's uncomfortable.
For Dean, it's a son of a gun.
So
if you're a man like me, go on.
Whoa. Oh, that's right here, Todd.
I know.
Right here.
Okay.
So with like the 45, I could load it down.
Moving on.
With so instead of being painful to shoot, it's actually pleasant to shoot. Same thing with your 45.
Okay,
yeah.
so reloading ammo is cheaper, essentially, but like your initial cost to buy all the equipment, if you're starting out, is going to be a pretty good chunk of change.
It can be.
Yeah.
Seriously, if you buy like. These reloading companies, they sell stuff that is so expensive.
Well, so I mean, don't factor in the casings, the bullets, the primers, and the powder. You're talking just the presses and all the equipment you need.
Depends on what you buy, but there's an initial investment.
Right.
And you can get everything you need in a kit, or you can buy everything component wise.
And some people like it, some people not so much. Right? You really like it.
I enjoy it.
You like it, but you're a really
detail-oriented
person, and you like to create these loads, and especially in your rifles, right? I mean,
the rifle, it's a different story.
It's a different story. Yeah. So I do it. I reload, but I haven't done it for about 4 years, and I just decided to start this week because I got plenty of ammo, but ammo is rough to find, right?
So that's another good reason to learn how to reload. So if we have another crisis
it's like canning.
Shoot.
It's like canning.
It is like canning. Yeah.
So I tried rifle. Rifle gets to be just I'm too impatient for rifle. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'd rather just see bullets like fill up the freaking bucket I'm dropping them into. Just bam, bam, bam. But I've had to, and I know Dean hates the way I reload. You absolutely hate it, but I've taken it a step further. So not only do I reload, but I cast my bullets and I powder coat them as well. Something that I got you into.
That's right. You showed me how to cast my own, powder coat my own.
Pretty sure I've shortened my lifespan by many years because of it.
Yeah, I do it outside
from all the lead.
I don't.
Yeah, inhaling the lead fumes.
And the powder coat that cooks off. That's
I know we ruined a barbecue once trying to melt lead, but whatever. That's a different story.
I got a camp stove I use and a Dutch oven. We don't use that. When you get done with the peach cobbler, you go ahead and just melt your lead down in there. You're good to go.
It seasons your
it seasons
your iron.
Gives it that earthy flavor.
Yeah.
But I do it because I actually kind of enjoy it. Now, I don't come in here and spend like hours in here reloading. That's not the way I do it. I have 3 different presses. I have a single stage. The first one I bought, I'm trying to think. I did buy a single stage first, I believe. No. Do you remember? You were here. You were around when I was buying them.
I can't remember. I think you had a turret first.
No. I had the progressive first.
Oh, you did?
I went straight to progressive. Go big or go home. That was a freaking mistake on my part.
So real quick though, when it comes to cost, like you're saying,
I don't even know what those cost. Lee's cheap.
Lee is cheapest, but that doesn't mean it's a cheap product.
No, it works.
It works great. I reloaded for my if you want accurate.
Right.
I reloaded for 222 Remington. And I was shooting 1/4-inch groups at 100 yards from a Remington Model 788, which is a cheap-ass rifle.
Right.
And 1/4-inch groups with this thing from what I loaded on my Lee. So you get quality coming out of the Lee, and it's almost half the price of anything else.
So I struggled with my progressive because it would get out of whack, and then all of a sudden you got like 4 or 5 rounds that are like half built, right? They're in their process, and then I'd screw something up. Anyhow, I struggled. So after I bought the progressive, I wanted to do some of the stages like depriming, and so I bought a single stage, and I figured I could use that for rifle stuff. So when I do rifle, I do use I do use.
Oh, we're a bunch of teenage boys.
Yeah, you are. I do use the single stage, but I got so fed up with my progressive, as you can tell, it's not on my bench anymore. Yeah. By the way, that's probably why I have a big problem reloading. Look at the bench; it's a freaking nightmare mess over there.
There's a bench there.
Yeah, and I ended up buying a Lee turret press, which I essentially kind of uses it's kind of like a single stage. Well, explain the turret press.
So you can use it either as a single stage,
right,
or as a turret. So it's a single stage press. You just do one thing at a time,
right,
one process at a time. With a turret press, it's got either 3 or 4 holes in the top of it that you can put several different dies on the top to do different things, and you can do all the processes on one cartridge, not at the same time. That would be a progressive, but in a progressive way. So you can do all the processes right in a row right there, and get a fully loaded cartridge within a few seconds.
So, and I went to the turret press, and I still do stuff not even on the presses. So I use, and the turret press will do all this. I just prefer to do it differently. Maybe they'll take the long way around. So I don't think I'm using the turret press to its full capacity. So I deprime on the single stage, or on the,
you size and deprime on the first your single stage.
On the single stage,
yeah.
And then I reprime them with a hand primer, because I can do that while I'm watching Netflix.
Right.
You got to be careful. You get those primers in backwards; they don't go bad.
You got to watch what you're doing. Yeah.
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 You trying to jam in one? You ever tried to jam in 2 primers at once? And you're like, son of it won't go in. And then you look at what you're doing, you're like, that primer's pretty scarred. I'd probably better not press on this anymore. I'm going to have this small explosion going on with the freaking 100 primers I got in
And those hand primers are really nice. They're slick. They work really well. It's quick and easy. Although, if you get a hand primer, make sure you check the bar that pushes the primer up in.
Yeah.
That there's no nipples on it.
Nipples.
So, another story. When I was in college reloading, I bought a brand new RCBS hand primer.
Yeah.
And I was hand priming in my room. There was a nipple on my RAM.
Just damn nipples.
Jeez, here we go.
And as I seated my first primer, it was pushing it home.
Did it go off?
It went off.
Seated. Pushing it. Oh, okay.
Pushing, seating.
Whoa, wrong podcast. I have to rate this.
I tell you, I was saying it once, and it went off in my hand.
Choice words here.
Yeah. Anyway, it went off, and it was louder than hell. It was just like.
Did all the others go off?
What?
Well.
No, it was just one at a time.
So you didn't have like a tray.
I didn't have the tray. No,
Gotcha.
I didn't use the tray. I didn't trust it.
I like the tray.
Yeah, I didn't trust the tray. So I was just doing one at a time, and it went off. It was a 357 round. And of course, when you're priming, there's no powder in it.
No,
there's no bullet in it. So it's just the powder.
They pop pretty
primer.
good though.
Oh man, it was loud. It was just.
Is that in your dorm room?
It was basically a dorm room. Yeah.
Oops.
Not on campus. It was.
Oops.
Yeah. Luckily, only one roommate was home at that time. I had 4 roommates.
Man.
Only one of them was home. He came in and was like, "What the hell? I'm okay." And I was yelling.
I was cleaning it and it went off.
Went off right in my hand. It got everywhere.
So
check your RAM for nipples.
Okay. So when I reload, sometimes I go ahead and do like a mass reload. I just reload like a whole bunch. But typically what I'll do is I'll sit down and my attention span, I can't stay focused that long. I want to go out. I got to be doing something, and I just can't sit in here and do a bunch of stuff. So I'll come out here like on a morning, like a Sunday morning or Saturday morning early, because I still get up early. I'll eat breakfast, and I'll sit here and I will deprime like 50 rounds, or 50 cases.
Size and deprime.
Size and deprime. Mm-hmm. Drop them in a bucket. Okay. And so the next time I come back out here, maybe it's the next morning or maybe it's a week later. I don't know. I'll sit there and hand prime them. So they're good to go. After, of course, you got to tumble the cases and clean them all first.
Yeah, if you're anal.
I don't know. I tumble them a little bit.
Yeah, I just clean the primer pocket and call it good.
I don't clean the primer pocket
With pistol. It's whatever. Just clean the primer pocket.
So then I hand prime them and they sit there. And then I work up some different loads. So how I work up a load,
Air quotes, work up.
I'm actually working down. But anyhow, I look at what's recommended, and then I wad that piece of paper up and I throw it away because I usually don't like
Where do you go to find what's recommended?
I don't know. I found a site earlier that said this guy put all his load information online, and you had to read this front page that said, use this at your own risk. He's not responsible for anything. I thought that was some good information to download.
Yeah. Was he, where was the site originating from? Was it the Middle East somewhere?
It might be.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
So anyhow, I get them. There are manuals out there.
Oh, it's probably Russia.
Yeah. There are manuals out there and you should probably use them.
Use a tested recipe.
Probably.
I'm testing
Pressure
it.
Tested.
Someone had to
recipe.
test them. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be
Let
the one.
someone else take the guesswork out of
So
your reloading.
what I do is if it says 4.3 grains, okay, so you got to give me this. I won't go up. I won't load. Oh, it's 6.5. I want the hottest 9mm round I can come up with.
I will have to tell you,
I've never had a problem.
Yeah, when it comes to difference between pistol and rifle, with rifle, yeah, you want as much speed as you can get out of it, usually. Yeah, you don't know. You don't give a shit. But with pistol, I like to load down with pistol.
So I was showing you guys this run earlier. They said 4.3. So I've gone through 3 stages, and what I do is a ladder. You call it a ladder test, right? I think they call it a ladder test or something. But I load 5 rounds instead of 4.3. I'll knock it down to 4.0 for 4 grains or whatever instead of 4.3, 4 grains, and then I'll go out and I'll run them. And if it cycles, they fail. So then I knock it down to 3.5. I think on this one I'm down to 3.3 now, and I think I'm going to take it down to as low as I can go, whatever that might be. And what I try to do is I like to shoot, but I like powder puff loads. You shot some of my loads, right? Did you?
No, I didn't.
No, that was me.
But they're nice, weren't they?
Yeah, it was pretty smooth.
And so
And then
I like them.
you were appalled, or you were flabbergasted that I actually shot him.
Well, no, Dean makes some big freaking deal about it. I'm going to hurt somebody.
Yeah, he's gonna lose his fingers.
So what I do is I
start calling you Lefty.
I load them down, and I don't want them to cycle. That's my mind. If they cycle, they fail. Okay, so I keep loading down till they don't cycle, and then I bump it up 0.2 grains, and right until they'll cycle. And they're fun to shoot. They're nice to shoot.
Yeah,
It's not that 9mm is going to hurt me, but
huh?
It's not like 9mm is going to be too much. Too much recoil. I'm not recoil shy, but if I'm going to go through, I want to lose. Okay, here's what it boils down to. I want to use as little powder as possible because I want to load more bullets with it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'm going to lay it all out.
The difference between 3.3 grains and 3 grains.
Sometimes that's enough not to cycle your gun.
Do you know how many grains are in a pound?
No.
7,000 grains.
So you know what
in 1 pound.
So you know what I do if I want a little hotter load? I turn the round over and I tap it on the bullet, jam it down in there a little further.
Oh, for shit's sake. Oh my God.
The tighter you get, the hotter that baby is.
Yeah, the smaller the space. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kidding, Dean.
Todd, you're killing me.
But anyhow, so
usually when you look at a recipe in a rifle manual, or if you go to a reputable site on the internet, maybe the powder companies and not some jackass in the Middle East who just pulled shit out of his ass and put it on the internet.
Stupid suggestion. You even looked at my Lee information there and you said, "Oh, that's not right. It come from freaking Lee."
Yeah, well, yeah, that was their volume calculator.
Why isn't that right? See, obviously, you go to a publicated source from the manufacturer.
Well, that's
and
why
it's wrong. I'm going to make my own. They're trying to kill me.
Well, that's because you were using the wrong hole, Todd.
No,
you were using the wrong hole.
Are you getting tired of listening to all this?
This is funny. I know there's people out there that are like, you don't clean the primer pockets and stuff. I mean, they're probably like,
no. Why would I waste my time?
Off
Well, you
now
clean
I
the
have
primer
on
pocket,
rifles.
so-
That's stupid. I hate that crap.
You clean the primer pocket so your primer seats correctly so that
You smash it,
It
down
is-
a little harder on the handle. You get it in there.
my cock. So what can happen is if it's not in there right and there's a piece of dirt in there, when the fire pin hits it, it may just seat it instead of making it going off.
That, my friend, is why you tumble them with the primers in, and then you don't get stuff stuck in the primer pocket.
No.
With old primers.
The crud that the primer leaves behind from
Oh, no,
firing it
that's
off.
all just dust. It'll be fine. That's all just dust in the wind. It doesn't matter. You just jam that in there a little harder. So here's something I've come up. So here's something that I come up with. So sometimes I'll go so long between reloading. I'll grab my hand primer and I'll look at it and go, were those rifle primers? Or are those handgun primers? And so then you want to know what I do? I take the lid off and throw them away.
Good job. That or give them to the kids. Take them out back to the sidewalk.
I give him my 6-year. I give him
let
my
him hit them with hammers.
I give him my 6-year-old son and a hammer, and we just have a good time.
Go to town.
But anyhow, yeah. So that's. Honestly, that's how I do it. That's how I reload here.
I saw the video of what you and Trig were doing the other day.
When I had some excess gunpowder, so we
just
poured it out on
bored
the
or-
concrete, made little snakes, and lit that shit on fire.
Just bored or
Oh, yeah, I was showing him a science project.
I think it's interesting to teach kids about how that works.
just don't stand over it when you
Yeah, it was
light
real
Yeah.
educational. As me and Trig, the only one here, he's 6 years old. He's the only. I said, "You want to do something cool?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, I told us, "Grab the propane torch. Let's go." And he grabbed it. He was super excited. So running across the yard. What are we getting? What are we getting? And I was like, "This. Do you know what this is?" And he does a lot of Minecraft. I guess there's gunpowder in Minecraft. He goes, "Is that gunpowder?" And that's it. And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I poured. I said, "Want to see something cool?" So I poured it out, a big strip of it out on the concrete, and I went to light it. And he goes, "Whoa, wait! It's gonna explode!" And I was like, "No, it won't. Just watch."
Right.
Oh, we had a blast, man. We had a lot of gunpowder too.
My dad had some excess black powder, and he poured it out on the driveway and lit it on fire and was standing right over it.
Yeah.
And singed his eyebrows right off.
So it's a common misconception that smokeless powder is an explosive. It's not an explosive. It's a propellant.
Yeah.
It doesn't burn as fast as an explosive does. So when you light it on fire and it's not contained, so it can build pressure, it won't explode. It won't. It just won't. It
Really?
doesn't. Yeah, it just burns fast and just like you did. You saw when you lit it on fire, it just goes.
That's yeah.
It's about it.
It's fun though. It's a big flame.
So I always when teaching someone how to reload, we always pour some in a little pile, especially like Boy Scout groups. You want to show them.
Oh, I did
How it
that when I
works.
was a Boy Scout leader. We
Yeah.
set all kinds of stuff on fire.
Right, pour it out and say, "Hey, what do you think will happen?" And they're like, "Oh, it's gonna explode! You're like Wile E. freaking Coyote." But it's just then it's gone.
But yeah, we're not going to worry about that. So, why do we powder coat our bullets, Dean?
Yeah, here's the thing. So when you reload, you've got two options for bullets. You got jacketed or lead. Now there's and some people can split hairs.
You can't
even more.
really
You
buy
got-
lead cast anymore, can you?
You can, yeah. You can buy. Lots
I mean, it's
of
a
lead
little.
cast,
It's
yeah.
a little.
Lead cast is a lot cheaper too, because you don't have to go through the process of swaging a jacket onto it,
Right.
Or even a half jacket. They sell half jackets. So lead is cheaper. The only problem is if your lead is very soft and you don't have quite the proper lubricant.
Well,
Then
it's
you're-
brindle.
you're-
It's the brindle hardness is what you're talking about.
Yeah, if the lead is soft,
There's a
too
name for it,
soft-
and I know that name. It's
Well-
brindle test.
Well, that's a test for measuring the hardness of your lead.
Of your lead.
Anyway, if it's too soft and it's not properly lubed, then it will leave streaks of lead down your barrel. If you have a
It's
revolver,
not
it
fun to
leaves
clean.
lead
It's
in every
not.
single chamber. It's the biggest pain in the ass to scrape.
Oh,
out of there.
it's a horrible. In fact, I got to a point where I had a lead remover, and I'd actually stick a foam earplug into one end of the barrel and pour that. I pour it, fill and then I plug the other end and just let it sit for like 20 minutes.
Right. I don't think I would ever. I know people do it. You can load lead for rifle. I would never do that to one of my rifles because I just don't trust the lead not to fill it up.
Right.
And it makes your accuracy just
So what we do is we powder coat.
Right. So and that's another cost saving thing. So you cast your own bullets with over a furnace. You melt your lead, you pour it into a mold,
right,
and then you get a perfectly formed little bullet. Then the question is, how do you lubricate it?
The lubricate is that
it going out.
Alox is nasty.
Well, yeah, there's a couple different ways to do it. You can do Lee's way, which is pretty easy actually. You just put it in a Tupperware bowl and you dump the stuff in. It's like conditioner, and then shake it around, and then there it is. Then you reload them. Or these fancy lubing machines made by big companies, Lyman and RCBS.
Right.
Yeah.
You lubricize them.
You lubricize your bullets as you put it. It's like a press, like a regular press, and you shove the bullet up into the hole, and as it comes out,
it fills the lube grooves.
It fills the grooves in your little bullet with lubricant,
and they're just sticky and nasty forever.
Yeah, it's
gross. It's just
plus you can't find a lubricizer for less than $300.
Yeah,
they're just expensive as heck.
Well, with Alox, you could put them in a tub, squirt it on there, and then like tumble them around. It was just gross. So
that's the Lee method, right?
We found powder coating.
Powder coating, yeah.
And some people actually will use like a high end like Krylon paint, and they'll just paint them and do it.
Paint?
And I've tried that, and it does okay. Yeah. I like powder coating. I mean, grab one of those bullets up there, Mark. They're behind my water deal right there, and it's like a plastic coating is what it is.
Yeah.
And you can actually coat the bullets in powder coating, and you can actually smash that with a hammer, get it the size of like a nickel or a diamond. That stuff does not flake off.
Right. And we've even
it's slick. It doesn't even feel like lead anymore, does it?
We've recovered shot powder coated bullets out of the berm.
Recovered them.
And they're still covered
in powder coat.
Stuff. Yeah. Powder coat right on it. So what it does is the powder coat acts as a barrier between your barrel and the lead to prevent streaks of lead
fouling up your
barrel. Yeah,
and lead fouling is absolutely horrific.
It's a pain in the ass to get out,
but it's kind of fun. So there's different methods of, and I got you into this. There's different methods of powder coating. I was poking around online the other day, and I saw a bunch. So the method I use is I do electrostatic powder coating is what I do. I had a big oven, but now I got a little toaster oven. So when I'm done heating up my bagels in there, making my mini pizzas, I go ahead and use it to powder coat my bullets. Well, it does double duty. It's in the war room. Sometimes I got to eat. So
disclaimer.
What?
Don't do that.
Powder coating is a potent carcinogen.
Yeah, but when I'm not powder coating, the oven's empty.
The oven empty. It's contaminated.
It's
completely contaminated. You're not supposed to eat.
You eat it fast.
You're not supposed to consume food from a oven that you powder.
You put more cream cheese on it.
The cream cheese neutralizes the carcinogen.
You just don't taste it at that point. It does double duty in here. That's all. Okay, that's what you need to understand.
Did you eat paint chips as a kid?
Only a few. I did work in a paint store for 13.
Williams sell lead-based paint. You drank it at break.
I did work in a paint store for like 14 years or something. I helped manage one, and I had my hands on a lot of lead-based paint. We'll just leave it at that.
So, disclaimer: Todd is joking. Todd is joking about eating out of this thing.
Possibly. The mini pizzas are awesome in there. But anyhow, I take those, and so I went to Harbor Freight. I bought a little electrostatic powder coater. It's like $60. And you got to have an air compressor as well, because that's how you kind of
update. The powder coater at Harbor Freight is now $80.
Is it?
It is.
Oh.
It is.
Because I got to get my cut now because I got this. Never mind.
Anyway, so the way the powder coat thing it works is it comes with a box that comes out to a gun that has the powder in it and an air hose that hooks up to it.
Right.
So as you pull the trigger, then it fluffs it fluffs.
It puffs
the
it
powder
out
coat,
there.
Puffs it out.
Puff
But
the magic dragon.
You've got a clip, an alligator clip, which comes from the box that
Right.
the gun is hooked up to, which sends an electric charge through.
And you got to have a tray, the metal tray, and I stand the bullets up on it. I take the time and I stand the bullets up on it,
Right.
and then I coat them, and then I stick them in the oven. And I had to get the time on it because I'd forgotten. So it's like 425 degrees for about 45 minutes.
24 minutes.
What?
25
No, you
minutes.
told me 45. I've been cooking the piss out of those
No
things.
shit, you have. No wonder they're brown. They're burnt.
No, it's because I mixed all the powder coating colors together. And
No, that's fine.
you can buy powder coating, by the way, at Harbor Freight, just couple basic colors, or you can order some really cool stuff online. But you cook them in there, and then what I do is when they're done, I prop the doors open, and I got a piece of wood or something that's not, and I go in and I knock them all over and let them cool off. I knock them over because if you let them cool, they stick.
Yeah.
And then that's a pain in the butt.
I don't knock them over.
I do.
I just leave them, and then when I size them, then it knocks the crud off the.
Yeah, I just reach in there and just knock them over because they don't stick to anything after. You should try that.
Serious, they don't stick.
I just have a wooden stick and I just go in there and chink, 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 lay them all over.
I'll be damned. I learned something new
There you go. From me,
from Todd,
the guy that scares you when it comes to reloading.
the irresponsible reloader.
Oh my gosh! So I got a question for you.
Yes,
Because of the mini pizzas, isn't it?
that's right.
I got a question. Well, it double. You got mini pizzas on the top rack. You got the bullets on the bottom. So I got a question for you. Have you ever? So on this powder coating machine, you have a button that a little foot pedal.
Yeah.
That you step on, and that's what sends the current.
Right.
Okay. Have you ever forgot you're standing on that little thing and reached in there to like turn a pan with your hand?
And it shocks the shit out of you.
Oh my gosh. Wake you up. Talk about wake you up, man. You ever done that?
Yes, I've
It's like,
yeah.
whoa, it's
Wow,
like
yeah,
the worst static shock you've ever had in your life.
Right? You get nailed. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, Val.
Val, that's
yeah, see?
Val, that's lightweight. I go 425 for, I'm not kidding you, 45 minutes.
Oh my god!
Because
Mine's not coming off.
because Todd misread my text.
I'm going to look at the text.
Right? Serious. Look at our text.
I'm going to
and
look
see.
at, okay. But anyhow,
Sure, yeah.
there's another version of doing. Have you looked up at the other versions of powder coating?
Nope. Because this works so well, I just do this.
Yeah, Val, this works the best. Val,
Well, it's because of those mini pizzas. That's why.
so Val tumbles his. He puts them. I don't know exactly. There's a few different ways to tumble them. So some of it's just really, I don't know, is laborious a word?
Yes.
Laborious. But you puts them in there and you like freaking pour the powder in there and you roll them around till the powder kind of sticks to them, and then you dump them on the pan and you cook them, and they don't look as pretty. Ooh. But I think there's a way you can do it with like some like acetone or some kind of like thinner that evaporates really quick that helps them. I'm not sure. And Val does it way, and if it works for you, it works for you.
I've shot some of Val's before, and they're pretty looking. He's got like pinks and reds, and
mine are functional,
So did you?
and they aren't afraid of a little heat.
Haven't you tried tumbling yours before? Tumble coating them?
Yeah, and I didn't like the way it looked, and so what I did is I just took them and poured them all back into my lead pot and started over.
See, I can't figure out how you tumble them and then get them onto your baking sheet.
You're right. You did say 20 minutes. Oh, dang it! I've been overdoing it. Oh well, it is what it is.
well, it's
Nah,
less
whatever.
time
That's
now.
just extra hard.
The smell. I like the smell. So, what have you had some? What kind of good mess ups have you had when it comes to reloading? Have you done some really good screw ups before?
I save them all too. Yeah. Oh, like upside down primers.
Do you ever end up with like a bucket or like a container full of like?
Effed up.
So it's been such a long time since I reloaded. I've got this container, and I've got all these bullets in it: 223 rounds, 9mm rounds, 38 specials, and I think it was my bad tub, but I'm not 100% positive.
So, do you know what a bullet puller is?
I do, and I broke mine.
Oh, go get a new one and take them all apart and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of what I'm thinking I need to do. So my biggest mess up on reloading was I was doing a rifle, and I hate freaking rifle. I put all the 270 rounds, laid them all out on the little trays. Okay. And I was trying to dial in my load for deer hunting or whatever I was trying to do. And I had it all figured out. I figured out what I'd wanted. And I had, I think I had like 30 cases or something standing up. I'm like, oh, sweet. I took the time and I weighed each load out and freaking poured it in
each individual
powder in each individual one. And I was getting ready to go ahead and put the bullet in, right? Picked up my tray. Guess who forgot to put primers in?
So you jumped your powder all over.
And it does a lot of freaking powder when you're dealing with 270 rounds. Powder went everywhere. So what I did, I scraped it off under the freaking carpet, and we had to be real careful when we removed that rug out of there. Fear it didn't static, yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, what a nightmare that was.
So at least it wouldn't explode. It'd just be propelled.
Yeah. So anything else you want to add on reloading? So real quick, I reload because I do enjoy it to a certain extent. Yeah. And I used to mass reload a whole bunch of stuff. And now I think I'm just going to be like, 50 rounds, 100 rounds, I'll go shoot it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then come in and redo it again. But I've got an endless supply I got brass like you wouldn't believe. I mean, so it's like I'm never going to run out of brass. I got so much brass.
So I don't know why.
Val's going, oh, you've got brass. I do have brass, Val.
I don't know why I was just thinking of this, but I was curious at what point does lead melt? So you can cast your bullets, right?
When it goes from hard to liquid.
It's just over 600 degrees.
Yeah. 621.5 degrees.
You probably sit there and like measure it with a thing, don't you? Do you like take the temperature of my gosh, you do, don't you? You do.
My wife has one of those guns that takes temperature to check her candy. The temperature. I was thinking about getting that the next time I do it.
So do you ladle your lead into your molds?
I do. I ladle. Yeah.
That's how I started too. Yeah. You've got to get one of the little Lee.
I saw yours over there last time, and
it changes it for the better.
It makes me jealous. Yeah.
It wasn't that much money.
Yeah. You
need to go get one. I think Val turned me on to that. He's like, you need to get one of these, and it changed my life. I had it for 4 years before I fired it up finally, but
right.
But it worked out. It worked out well.
So yeah, when it comes to where do you get your lead?
That's a top secret, and we're not going to go there because there's people on the line that might take my lead.
So you get it from a source that it's already been shot.
Give it away.
So you can get it from it's already been shot. You can buy it online. That's from a supplier like Midway USA sells it. Or
do you water drop your bullets?
Yes,
I don't. I did.
I water drop them. Yes,
I didn't on these ones, and I think I'm just gonna. I don't even care anymore. I'm not gonna do it.
So water dropping them.
What is it? It makes them harder.
Makes them harder. Yeah.
I don't care.
So
just add more powder coating and cook them for 45 minutes.
A lot of the tire shops are going away from lead.
Yeah, they have. Balancing, period. They have
balancing weights. So,
zinc weights, and those are fun to pick out.
Yeah.
Okay, funny story.
Okay. Oh, yep.
And then we're
gonna a tombstone around,
and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. So when I first started doing this, I do it outside in a Dutch oven. I'd melt my lead down. Okay, when I a Dutch oven on a camp stove, and that was the way I did it. And I would go out to like the gravel pits, and I made a sifter. I'd actually sift out the spent bullets out of the berms.
Right, yeah.
You remember when I was doing that, right?
Yeah.
I'd make my kids. I'd enlist my kids when they were little to like separate. They loved it, kind of. And I put it in the Dutch oven. I heat that sucker up. Well, my son, it's hard to find good help. He was young at the time, probably about 6, and.
This isn't going to violate some child labor law.
No.
Child abuse.
But
laws?
I didn't check his bucket real good, right? So not only we were putting spent lead in there, I was dropping in, without knowing it, the 22 rounds. Okay.
Loaded?
That were,
unfired. I should say.
Supposedly duds or spilled at the range or whatever.
Some jackass who didn't know what he was doing.
I'm there heating, I'm standing all of a sudden, pop, 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 pop. I'm like, what did I mean shot at? And I realized exactly what happened. I hit the ground because it's splattering hot lead everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I hit the ground, and I went like belly. I told myself, stay back. And I belly crawled up there and reached up and set the lid on top of the lead and it turned that sucker off till I could figure out what was going on. So then I had to recheck everything. It was a pain in the butt. But
Did it
that
still
was
go off even with the lid on? Were they still going off?
Oh yeah,
Oh my God! So the lid contained it.
the lid contained it. Yeah, because
Nice.
it would just kind of pop them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not enough in a 22 to
if-
do anything, but
if
it's scary.
If a cartridge is not fired inside of a contained chamber, it doesn't go very far.
Yeah, no.
Well, and it's surrounded by liquid lead, which is heavy. So
Oh, another thing, if you get into this, you want to be very, very, very careful of doing. When you are melting your lead for bullets, you need to make sure there is no water in the lead when you are heating it up. Have you ever done that?
No, I have taken your advice and avoided it.
It will explode and it will fire lead everywhere. So I know,
Seen those,
haha, we've been funny about this, but there are some few things you do not want to do, and you do not want to get water in your lead because it will explode.
If you do water drop away from where you're melting your lead.
Yeah, yes. What I normally do when I did a water drop is I actually laid a towel and had a rubber band. I stretched a towel over the top of my bucket, my 5-gallon bucket, and then I would put like a hole in the middle. I'd let it loose a little bit, so when you dropped your bullet, hit the towel and roll in, and then it contained all the splash.
Yeah, I just put it back behind me about a good 7-8 feet, and I walk, so it gives me a little exercise too.
That's a lot. That's a lot of unneeded exercise.
Yeah, it helps your back a lot. You're bent over the thing pouring.
So there's that, and what other?
Have you seen those videos online of the firefighters putting a frozen turkey into one of those turkey fryers?
That's what putting water in lead will do.
Water in a lead
is absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else, and then I think I use like an oak stick to like stir it and kind of helps whatever the tannins help do something. Clean it. All the garbage will float to the
does it have
top.
to be oak?
Yeah, because of the
it has to be
tannins.
oak.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
tan,
I got you.
And I know it seems crazy, man. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird the way the whole reloading.
Or you
thing.
could just use tin foil and put a little tin foil in there.
So here's
Make a little hat out of it.
So here's a tip for you too if you're getting into this and you get the molds. Something that I learned after a little while. So when you first get a mold, you need to heat that sucker up. I just took like a little propane blowtorch and I cooked all the oil off of it.
Right, yeah.
And then you open it up, and then you either can light a stick on fire or something. And if you smoke the inside of the mold where the bullets are formed and get them black, then the bullets pop out easier. It's kind of like
Carbon buildup.
carbon buildup. It releases the bullets a lot nicer.
Yeah.
And here's another thing with bullet molds. Lee sells bullet molds for half to a third the price of anyone else.
Right.
And they're great molds.
Oh, they work great.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
So
Everyone else, I don't know how they get away with charging that much. It's unbelievable.
So I'm going to say that, I think we've touched on a lot of stuff, probably not absolutely everything. And anyone who actually, I don't know, they probably, if someone listens, they probably get a lot of people disagreeing with us on how we do stuff, but we do it and it works for us, right?
And it's safe.
You guys have really made me want to continue buying factory ammo.
That's the thing with reloading. It is time consuming, and you really have to educate yourself to do it safely.
Good for you.
I wouldn't mind like doing it just to learn it, but I don't think I have the.
How
patience
dare
for it.
you?
Yeah, I don't
We're
have
here
the
talking
patience
about
for it.
reloading. So no, it's whatever. Someone's got to, but I enjoy doing it. And I've got plenty of stuff to get it done. So it is what it is.
So times of crisis like this, you can actually still shoot.
Well, it's kind of like it's like knowing how to can, right? You have the canning supplies, and if you have to can or knowing how to garden, you have the supplies to do so. The whatever, and you can garden, you can still survive, and that's kind of the way I look at reloading.
Yeah,
it's not for everyone. Some people just like to buy it, and I still do both. You probably don't buy ammo. I buy ammo because I'm not going to have a bunch of people in my class shoot my reloads. That's whether I reload like Dean or I reload like myself. That's still just not.
It's still a liability.
That's a huge liability, and I
One thing
do
about-
not do that.
One thing about firearms manufacturers is I know a lot of them won't cover any issues with their guns if you are shooting your own reloads.
Freaking prove it.
So
No,
that's
not
the thing.
you.
That's
Not
the
you.
thing is,
but they can prove it.
Yeah, how are they going to prove? So, but that's one of their disclaimers in their warranty things. So,
Well, yeah.
Well, as long as you're
I'll be
careful,
honest.
you won't have any.
I'll be honest with you. Glock, especially Glock, will say no reloads, it whatever.
Oh, the Glock says no lead, too, right?
Guess what? Yeah. Guess what? I've shot plenty through
Yeah, I've
all
shot
of my
plenty
guns, and
through
I've
my-
never had a problem. But
Yeah. Even
you know,
my Glock, it shoots fine with lead, powder coated lead, and it doesn't.
I'd be honest with you. You know, I know a lot of people that reload, and I've heard more people have problems with factory ammo than actual reloads.
Really.
So here's a question, and you probably don't know the answer, and I don't either. I'm just throwing it out there. So when they say no reloads, what about remand ammo from a company?
I think they
Because
have
that's
to-
essentially a reload.
Yeah,
well,
but I
they're
think-
all
I think
reloads.
those companies have to have like some kind of certification thing.
But really, they're all reloads.
Yeah.
Well, technically,
Well, I mean, no, you can get, like-
first.
It's not like
animal
once fired
manufacturers is
brass
really-
if
yeah.
it's
If anyone,
brand new.
if anyone of importance from ammo or from gun manufacturers have listened to this podcast, I guarantee you, I've just voided the warranty on every one of my guns when they hear how I do stuff.
Yes.
So-
Now, as much crap as we give you about how you reload, it's not that bad.
No, it's
Honestly, because you're not overloading. That's the biggest danger with firearms is if you're out there
Yeah.
trying to soup it up and get a
And
super
to be
fast
honest with
load,
you,
and it's-
you do that mostly when it comes to rifle. I really don't like
That's a
reloading
lot
rifle.
that's a lot of how the manufacturers will find out if you're reloading is, you know,
If you blow
somebody
up your
does
own firearm.
a double charge or some you know.
Yeah.
So that's a dead giveaway there.
Well, the only thing I may have, and I've never had it, is maybe it's a little light, and so the gun doesn't leave the barrel, and it's stuck in there.
So you get a squib.
But yeah, squib load. But you know, even if it's a manufacturer ammo, the gun manufacturer is still not going to cover that. They're going to say that's an ammo problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter at that point. But
and a squib load isn't gonna
depends
be
on
a
if you
danger to life and limb. Yeah.
It depends if you pull the
Unless
trigger again.
You pull the trigger again. Yeah.
Well, that's how you got to get rid of that bullet that's stuck in the barrel, right?
Oh yeah, that's how you get it out. You just pull the trigger again. Exactly. Good job. Yeah. All right,
That's
Lefty.
what I mean. Can you imagine somebody going and like just dumping a mag and getting like
and getting a squib.
So there's
squib
old
lemon.
time revolvers. They'll show pictures where these guys doing like the western shoots or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and they'll bam, 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 and nothing happens. And they look down the barrel, and I've seen pictures of them like cut open, and you can see like
Oh, yeah.
there'll be like
Just
4 or
stacks of
5
bullets in
rounds in there.
yeah.
They don't blow up.
Because most of those guys load them.
I know they load 'em-
They load them really.
Load them
light.
soft.
Yeah,
But-
or that, some of them old revolvers though were super freaking durable though too. I mean,
Yeah. Was that black powder round where it was stacked up?
no, I don't think so.
You think it was a cartridge?
Yeah,
It was a cartridge, huh?
but well, I think we've covered reloading as far as we're going to cover it today.
Today, yeah.
Anything else you want to
That
add
was
about?
just a great big general.
It was fun.
overview.
It was
Yeah,
fun though.
there's
It was
so
fun.
many
No
rabbit trails we could go
no
down. if we wanted
pandemic.
to.
No
Yeah.
pandemic. Talk.
Definitely check out the Facebook page for Patriot Defense. There's going to be the videos.
I just posted actually a few
And-
minutes ago. I just posted that 45 video.
Yeah. So check out that video on what damage it did to the phone books.
It was
'Cause it's
absolutely
very interesting.
fantastic.
That's right. If you ever get attacked by a wet phone book, Liberty Arms.
Yeah, I do. Liberty Civil
Defense, yep.
So I do. There was a question on here, and I kind of took it wrong to begin with, so I didn't answer it. But I'm going to answer it. It was submitted by a female viewer. It says, "How many women are members? Members of what? Really? How many women like the Facebook page? Quite a few of them." I know we talk about some stuff on this sometimes that maybe not be great to women. We're not demeaning to women, but yeah, we may joke, some guy talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, some guy talk. It happens, and if you don't like it, the podcast is not for you. You know, you take one of my classes or something like that, you're not going to get this type of talk. This is the podcast. This is kind of what we do. We don't get too crude, but yeah, we make some jokes here or there. Nothing demeaning, nothing degrading, and it's probably just not going to change.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I'm looking at.
But
everyone does.
I
it.
do have to
The podcast is different.
have to tell you when we are on the range, when Todd, you're on the range, you're very professional.
Oh, yeah.
Very forward.
Yeah.
To the point, and no messing around because people die if you don't
Yeah.
follow the rules.
Very much so. I mean, this is in here. This is guy talk, and it is what it is, right? You know what you get. So there you go. I just wanted to throw that out there. Nothing personal against the question. I just wanted to explain what's going on because I like what we do, and I don't want to change. I don't want to change anything. So throw out there. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you enjoy it, share it with your family, share it with your friends, steal your friends' phones and make them download it and become a member. That would be not a member, but download it and subscribe to it.
Like it, share it.
Share it on social media. That's how we're going to grow. And if you enjoy it, fantastic. I really, really appreciate that. I'd like more people to be able to listen to it. And so, if you feel like it, you don't have to share this video necessarily, but I can put up links to the podcast. If you want to share this video, you sure can. I'll put up links to the podcast. If you grab that and just share it on your social media, that's fine. You don't have to give us a review. You don't have to give us a rating. But if you could just share it on a social media site, that would be absolutely fantastic. We would appreciate it. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us on, I don't know where else. There's
Netflix. No, I'm just kidding.
We'd be making some money then.
Tiger King, look out.
So you can find us on quite a few places. If you share it, that would be fantastic. If you got any questions or comments, you want to get a hold of me, you sure can. You can call me. You can text me, area code 620-794-6223. That's area code 620-794-6223. Like I said, find us on Facebook under Patriot Defense, like the page. You can do all that. That would be fantastic. And me and Mr. Tarver will be back sometime on Monday. We'll have a second podcast where we talk about, it's the Prepper/Conspiracy podcast. And we kind of like him because it feels really good to talk about everything that's going on in the world and kind of get the weight, get the weight off our shoulders a little bit and just kind of like let it go. I know Tarver, it's a good outlet for Tarver. I know that. So we enjoy those. I hope you do too. Until then, we will possibly see you guys next week. Until then, have a great rest of your weekend. Bye.